you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you want to truly succeed in attaining all in that which is your need? To be heard by the real answerer of all deeds, the true hero of all whom pleads. Who of you really want to bow down to the true King of Kings commanding the crown? To worship the one that ever rules alone, commanding everything of creation from the seat of its throne.
Devoured?
Yeah,
Hey, man.
that's true.
You know, that's why I'm suspicious of that word pray.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You know.
That's why, you know, I choose to praise the Lord.
Yeah.
You see, and appraise it to the highest. You know, because you got people, man, just like, you know, you might go to the temple, synagogue, or masjid or something. They speak in a foreign language, you know,
Right.
and they praying in the foreign language, you know, they talking to you in the foreign language, and you don't understand what's being said. You know, by all right, man, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah.
What are you doing if you don't, if you know, if I'm talking to you and you can't understand what I'm saying and I'm speaking in your language but I'm talking above your head, what
Right.
are you doing?
Right.
You're listening to sounds that you don't understand.
Right.
You might like the sound, but you don't understand it. You know, you hear some musicians saying, man, you got to get into jazz, man. Oh, man, I hear jazz. I don't like jazz. No, you don't understand it, man. You got to understand it. You know, because they feel like there's some deepness to it that the average hearer
Right.
don't recognize. The same with opera and other
Right.
classical
All the
music.
Right.
You understand? But, you know, it's like what we need is to understand the language.
Right.
We need to have a common ground in the language.
Right.
It's very important to connect through the language to know what's being said between you. You know what I'm saying? Because when somebody come and say, man, you know, like, I give you an example. Some brothers was talking to me, right? And they were telling me, this is back 30 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, brother, we was told to tell you that you got to bring your students to the masjid. You know? But before that, they was talking about they was going to cut my head off and face it to the east, right?
Right.
A week later, they said we were told that you had to bring your people to the masjid. You can't be out here in the community spreading Islam like this. You got to bring everybody that listen to you to the imam. What imam?
Yeah.
My Lord told me to speak to the people, and I'm speaking to the people. No, you got to bring your people to the masjid. We talked to Allah last night. That's what the brother told me. We talked to Allah last night. Same brother was talking about cutting my head off, facing it to the east. And this was during Ramadan. I asked him a simple question. You believe in Allah? Yes. You believe in the angels? Yes. You believe in the books? Yes. You believe in the laws and orders of Islam? Yes. Why are you trying to make war against me during Ramadan?
Right.
Huh? Why? I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Huh? The next year during Ramadan, I met this brother at the hospital. He was laying up on a gurney with half his face shot off during Ramadan. I said, oh, man, what happened to you? Oh, man, I was up on Pill Hill, man, in a car, and they stuck a shotgun through the window and tried to shoot this other brother, and I caught some of the buckshots. I said, do you know what you was doing last Ramadan at this time? Right. You was talking about cutting my head off facing to the east. Now you up on Pill Hill?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
You want to face me to Mecca, but you want to get you some succanars, some Shivas, some Yellow Jackets, Sumanars. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How hypocritical. Yeah. How arrogant. You know? See, you know, it is, every man is responsible for his words. Yeah. So you got to be careful letting words out of your mouth. I let my words out on this television program. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands or million people that's watching.
Right.
But I'm responsible for these words to each individual. And I recognize that. Huh? And that's the weight that's going to be on my back if I be out here propagating something evil, something wrong. Now, you may hear men say that and they don't care because they don't believe or they don't know Ahezaah in the manner that I do.
Right.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
They don't know it. They believe that they know some force, some spirit
Right.
with the backing of their brothers. But see,
Right.
it don't matter to me if you got this whole planet Earth backing you. 6 billion people. If Ahezaah is against you and those 6 billion people, it is the greater number.
Right.
Huh? It is the greater force, the greater power.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And in my book, that's what counts. I don't care what the world do to me.
Right.
What I'm concerned about is what it does to me because it is the world.
Mm-hmm.
Huh? It's the reality of the world. The world can't do nothing except what it manifests through them. So that's the one. Once I found that, whoa, I got the key. There's the answer. I understand the meaning. What? Get away from me, man. My Lord.
Right.
You're not going to turn me away.
And you know, there's something very important that he said about
Mhm.
being able to communicate on common
Right.
Common ground.
Right.
common ground. And a lot of time I find that, you know, people in the way of religion do not bring that forth. They
Yeah, that's
have a tendency. I know that Holy Apostle say he was watching the program and they was saying something about what was in Quran, but they didn't stop to say, okay, this part of what I'm getting ready to say is not in Quran.
Right.
So they mislead
Right.
people to
Right.
think that things is in Quran. I know that I had a young lady a few days ago that asked me a question, and I explained to her my position, and I went back and I told her, I said, look, she was telling me about a relative of hers that they had, his mother was Christian, but he was Muslim, and they had his funeral at the masjid, but the night before they had his wait at the funeral parlor because they didn't want to show the face, and the mother said, I'm paying for it, so I want his face and everything open so people could see. And I expressed to her, I said, you know, from my perspective, for how I feel about it is that a dead body shouldn't come into a place of worship.
Right.
That's just my, but I let her know that's not Islam. I'm not saying that's in Quran. I'm not saying that's not in Hadith. I'm not saying none of that. I said, from my
Your
perspective,
Right.
In your opinion.
a dead body should not go into a place of worship.
Right.
A place of worship is a place that you're supposed to upraise Ahezaah.
That's
Purified for Ahezaah alone.
So
That's
if
it.
you have this body in there, what are you doing? What is this body in there for? This
Right.
body can no longer upraise or praise Ahezaah. So, and you're in this
Mourning state.
in this
Yeah.
Right.
holy place of worship,
Right.
so you say. So why is this dead body? And I told her, you know, and I made sure I made that clear because I didn't want her to go back and say to her relatives that were not Muslim and say,
Right.
you know, we wasn't supposed to go to that masjid because she was disturbed because they had to go to the masjid and take off their shoes and what have
okay.
you, what have you.
Yeah, they was
you know,
forced into a
but-
custom.
Right.
Right.
But what I, you know, like to impart to people is if you say you believe, you should get your business in order. If you have family that's disbelievers, in your way, get your thing in order so that things can run more smoothly
Yeah.
on that side. You know, map out, you know, one thing we don't do as African American people, we never map things out for when we pass on. You know, I'm quite sure a lot of us don't know whether our parents got policies or not, and we don't have no idea because those are the things we don't discuss until that day come, and then we all running around trying to see how we're going to go about burying someone. So it's just as simple if we put down as you write it yourself. Your last will and testament, whatever you want done, have it done, have it notarized, and give it to the funeral parlor. And it is the responsibility of the funeral parlor to see that your family go by that which you leave
But
to
you
be
know,
done.
I believe that it should go even further than that. You know, regardless to any last will and testament that you write out, because Allah never said anything about a last will and testament.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, Allah said deal in contracts.
Right.
With everything you do, deal in contracts, and that's contracts with the living.
Right.
Right.
You understand? While you're living. I think that, you know, and I'm not saying that last will and testaments are no good. No, I'm with that. If that's the way, the order of the people, so be it. It's not violating the covenant of the Lord El. You know, and it brings about some good, you know, when a person pass on. But the thing that I see is that you should get your life in order with your family before you pass on. And I'm not talking about no last will and testament. I'm talking about with the way you are. Right. From here to from Jersey to Florida to California and Texas and wherever my relatives are, they all know what I am and where I stand. And there will be no surprises when I pass on. It shouldn't be. When I pass on and they come to my family. But the thing that Ahezaah has done for this community is that knowing that we're in a mixed culture, it has commanded that we be compassionate with people.
Right.
And don't take some hard line that people have taken in other countries. Because I've seen some sad situations with people mourning. You have groups of brothers and sisters who don't care about the family members.
That's right.
Don't care about their misunderstanding about these other people's religions and cultures that they've taken upon themselves. And they just squash them out. Huh? There should be some middle ground where they can hold some services to explain to the people what this person's life was about if that person did not inform his family and make it clear to them as to how things would be. You know, because I'm telling you, if I was a Christian or a Jew or a Hindu or whatever, and my cousin was a Muslim in the way that many of these Muslims are, and I lived in California, and his funeral was in Jersey or New York, I would make sure that I got there long before the funeral.
Right.
If I was allowed to, if I wanted to see that person. And I did, because let me tell you something. Funerals were meant to identify the person deceased. Right. Now you got a brother wrapped up properly and what have you, ready to mummified, ready to go. They can't see who he is. The family members can't see that that's their beloved one.
Right.
It's a thing of identification. Okay, did brother so-and-so die? I don't know, man. I went to the funeral, but I don't know.
Right. Yes.
You know? People run around here talking about, man, Tupac ain't dead. and they, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's identification. Right. You know? Let's be reasonable. But I've seen brothers run from Allah you come, from Allah you return, to Allah you return, snap, snap, boom, boom. And people that came all the way from down Florida up to Connecticut. And that's bop, 3 seconds, 30 seconds. Let's give some rock out, boom, 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 out of here. Never explain to the people of the other faiths.
Right.
What's going on? And them people feel slighted and hurt. I've seen them, I've heard about them. Taking over people's funerals, taking up because the brother was a member of their community. They just hill stomp the people. Get out the way. It was our brother. I don't care if he was your son, your cousin, or what. Get out. This is the way he lived. This is the way he going. You know, that's not right. You know, you got to be reasonable, and I'm going to tell you something. They can say what they want to say. They're going to have to answer to Ahezaah, to the Lord, to Allah, and its name, whatever name it desired for them to answer to them, to it when they pass on about these things they do. It's not right to do that.
Like you said, Lord, the way he lived was not only just in the way that he was in that community with those people that doing the funeral, but in the way he projected himself to his family.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about, getting yourself together, because most people, most of them live double lives. Religious people live double lives. They one way with you, they're another way with you, they're another way with their community, another way with their minister. They live in double lives, and you don't really know them.
Right.
You know, a person passed, you say, that was my son, that was my cousin. Wow, I don't believe that.
Right, and that's true about the double lives, boy.
Yeah.
Because I know that I've been in shock, and people try to put me on the spot saying, well, my cousin Muslims, they come over for Christmas, or they come over for... I be like, well, I don't know what they practice, but I ain't coming to your house for Christmas.
Right.
I ain't going with you no Christmas dinner. You understand what I'm saying? So, yes, and a lot...
We don't even get that heavy. We don't even go to Thanksgiving dinners because we know that for the Caucasians, that Thanksgiving, they thanking the Lord for allowing them to take this land from the Indians, from the native indigenous people of this nation.
Right.
Huh? So how could I celebrate with them on that? I don't care if it's 1,000 years later. You understand what I'm saying?
And I don't think the Indians take to kind of call it Thanksgiving.
Right.
It could be a death day to them. It could be a death giving. Because you took my land. I done helped you survive. Now you bumping me off.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
I'll be surprised.
Like you said, look at the other side of that coin, though.
Right.
He flips it over, though, and see that.
And you know what? Y'all bringing that up as making that statement. African American people really need to stop before they get involved with things, because see, just like we go out our way to celebrate them taking the land from the Indians for Thanksgiving, letting the kids go to school and make them Indian hats and all that kind of stuff. The Caucasians set us up the same way, just like Muhammad Ali. A lot of people think he was just the world's greatest boxer. That man was more than a boxer. He said, you took us and made us slaves for over 500 years.
Right.
Okay? They want us to forget that. And we have basically forgotten that. Okay? You did that to us. Now you want to put me on a uniform and you want me to go kill some more people that you want to enslave. Even if you want to enslave them in your country, you want me to do the same thing to them that you did to me.
That's right.
Kill some people who didn't do anything to me.
Right. And Sharpton and them is so stupid. I'm sorry. They stupid. They talking about the word nigger. Oh, it's so hurtful. It's hurtful. The people that they use the word nigger on is dead. And how hurtful was it? They were some strong people. They overcame that crap. For real, we talk about that overcome. Now we can sit on the front of the bus. Most black people love the back of the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Because you got more room back there. You can stretch out without people hitting you with a pocketbook.
And you can see who up in there that might start some trouble with you.
Right. Now, you take away the word nigger, how much of slavery is our grandchildren and great-grandchildren is going to remember?
They trying to
how they going to know about what our ancestors been through and how we got into this situation in this country? In the next 50 to maybe 100 years, they just going to act like the African American people was always here and we just chose to be a bunch of stupid, ignorant people.
Yeah, really.
That's what they're going to do.
And
Sharpton and them is helping them in their other scheme to take us out.
Right.
This helping them. And we thinking that they marching is to help us. No, they're marching is to hurt us more.
So the history involves the whole picture, not just the so-called good side, but the negative, the whole picture.
That's why we don't have African history taught in the school.
Not proper, not true.
Right.
Not true
we only got Black History Month and we talk about people that discovered stuff. Wait a minute, why can't we talk about Black history? Why can't we go back and tell the kids about slavery so that they won't grow up with that slave mentality? If they're not being taught this, of course they're going to repeat the cycle because they don't know it's a cycle that needs to be broken.
Well, the most important thing is with them not being taught the history of slavery, they can't see the line of slavery.
Right.
You understand? See, they want to act like the line of slavery has been broken.
Right.
Huh? And they got some of the biggest slaves wearing out their shoes in these marches, marching to Washington. That's like marching to the white man's table begging for crumbs. Please, master, give me justice. Please give us equal rights. Please, master. And now they want to slick on us. I didn't want to get into this stuff, man. But they slick on us that we got an African American. They try to act like he's a Negro.
Yeah. But he said he's a mutt.
He called himself a mutt to entertain them.
Right.
Huh? Don't think that he he a mutt, except by the true meaning of the word.
Right.
A mixed breed.
Right.
He ain't thinking about being no mutt in his mind like what people in the ghetto would think a mutt is.
Right. And if his presidency is not a joke, then tell me now what number.
Why is it that he is explaining every move he make to the people when no other president has ever been so accountable?
Well, hold it. Wait a minute. They went deeper than that. What number president is he? What number? 47?
44. Right?
Go to show us how much we know. Anyway, if you went online last week, I said, boy, black folks is just some blind fools. They showed you exactly how much money him and his wife reported on their income tax and how much they had to pay back. Then they put down that the vice president, they wouldn't give the figures. They just said that him and his wife gave $110,000 towards charity.
Well,
but they had his exact amount, and they said, click here if you want to view the 1040 or whatever form he filled out.
But see, that's what I'm pointing out. You got to understand, even though he's at a high level of blackism, he's still black. By their terminology. Right. He got Negro, or not Negro, but African in him. And every society, no matter what people you are, those with the African strain are held as the less in humanity. Right. Yeah. And those with the Caucasian strain is held as the most. And for the life of me, I can't understand a purebred indigenous Native American allowing their people to think that the Caucasian mixed mutt breed of the indigenous people is the better people than those who are pure. And then those mixed with the African, they don't even want to allow them to be, recognized.
Only thing
when most of them were dark-skinned people when they came over there. They want to forget the Mongolian, Chinese Mongolians that came over the Bering Straits and came down here. Huh? How many people do they really teach the history about them being Chinese?
That's right.
Black Chinese and the Aryan Asian like Chinese as well. You know?
Now to get a little further into this thing, I tell y'all people are so funny. Minister Farrakhan, where the hell is his African strain at?
I don't know. I think he's
West Indian.
So he got some African in him.
Something
But what else do he have in him?
Oh, well, he got French and
Come on, he got Caucasian all up in him.
Well, I'm talking about French.
How the hell you allowing a Caucasian man to lead you to the White House to atone?
Yeah.
You can look at him and tell he got more Caucasian than African.
Well, that's our people. You got to understand, we are victimized the same. Anybody with the Caucasian strain is held as the better people. You know, it's just like coffee, man. You put some cream in there, and now you're going to tell me it's greater coffee? You might taste better if you put a little sugar in there, sweeten it up. But see, that the sugar in our lives is the lies.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But that goes back to what you were saying all the time, Holy-Apostle, addressing people.
Not saying that there's anything wrong with Caucasian people. Right. But they the ones make the separation.
Right.
They're making this thing quickly.
I didn't make these separations.
They're making this thing quick.
They the one push those things.
They push it.
And I'm going to tell you something. They never going to let this man in the presidency live down the fact that he's a black man.
Oh, no.
I mean, that he's mixed. You know how you say, I'm going to get on myself before they can get on me, and they ain't going to be able to tell me anything because I'm going to tell them first. Say, I'm a mutt. What president ever put himself down?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And we ain't got a mutt dog.
Even the drunk didn't put himself down.
No, he would never admit he was a drunk.
And an idiot. He would never say that. You know?
And the great actor, the liar. Well, I don't even know who I am. Wouldn't put himself down.
That's right.
That's right.
But it goes back to what you were saying, Holy Apostle, breaking it down to the layman's term. You always gave a lesson of life that was so important. Don't speak at people, speak to people.
Yeah.
If people spoke to people where they would get a great understanding, then a lot of this, back to language again, would not have what we get the chaos we got going on now, because people keep things in disharmony by the language.
Yeah.
We're going to keep above their heads.
Yeah.
And you say, what are they talking about? You know,
Right.
you can break it down. You can break it down so they understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even this conversation we're talking about, even though we conversations about is what we're talking about, the language that would express to our people to keep us in the stupid that we're in would help them understand a greater degree how we've been tricked.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what the funniest thing is funny to me. I know people probably like, damn, she think everything funny. But I speak to some people from I can't go no lower.
Yeah, it's true.
And they be like, I don't understand what you're saying. What are you saying? You like, what the hell?
Well, you know,
Okay.
they can't
And they don't,
understand what
it ain't
you're
that they don't understand what I'm saying.
No, they can't. They can't. If you close the door, I can't hear you. Talk to the hand. What you say? That's what they doing. Inside themselves, they closing themselves off, so they can't. You can get so incensed that you can't hear even parts of your conversation. I guarantee you, there's some people who turn the station. Oh, there they go again. Click.
Yeah.
You know, because the hatred. You tell me. I told you this before. When I changed my name to Deen,
Right.
before Allah changed it to Holy-Apostle Deen, it changed it to Deen.
Right.
And I was talking to a lady who I had been working with for about 7, 8 years. And she heard somebody call me by my name. And she said, why he call you? I said, oh, my name's been changed. She said, to what? I said, and I gave her the whole name. She said, Deen, Deen, Deen. I said, go ahead and say you can't say Deen. Go ahead and say you can't say Dean. And when you working in this college and you got deans all over here, the dean of this department, the dean of that department, come on, tell me that. And she had to giggle at herself because she was ready to get it off. Wow. I can't say, oh, like I said, Dean Muslim Mujahid Rashad Saleem. Abracadabra, kaboo-boo.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She was ready to get it off. She couldn't hear. She couldn't hear herself, her own stupidity before it came out, and I grabbed her on it.
Right.
Yeah,
But that's people.
They try to, because we changed our name, they really try to make it seem like a big challenge.
See, here's the whole thing about understanding something. I always tell you, deal with the words. Deal with the meaning. To understand something simply means to stand under it. Right. Can you stand under the words that we saying? I stand under what Allah has put down on me. I stand under that. In order with that. Therefore, I am in understanding.
Right.
Huh? If I couldn't stand under it, that means I have no understanding. My with me standing under it and humbleness and sincerity, the Lord give me reasoning to realize what I'm standing under. And people call reasoning understanding, not realizing that they're talking about two different things. See, we got this devil mentality, this devil language that's always veering us off to the left or away from where we're trying to get. You know? That's why we need to study. That's why I'm going to tell you something. They got many different dictionaries for a reason. Huh? Oh, yeah. And when you go into the lowly people's community, into their schools, you will not see the extensive dictionaries in their schools.
That's true.
Not even in the low-level colleges. You got to go out and find them. But you go to Harvard and Yale, you're going to get some deep dictionaries. The real deal. And it's going to tell you the truth in them. If you but know. Huh?
That is so true. And I understand we've been given a sign. Yes. You know, this has been an aha moment to come before the storm. I want to thank Ahezaah much for this conversation because I hope you enjoyed it, because I know I've enjoyed what Ahezaah sent down of his wisdom in this hour today. With that being said, you want to reach us by correspondence.
Who of you want to do things right? To keep up with keeping your lives tight. Tight as in being right with the truth of true insight. Who of you want to do things right? Who of you